Whoa, dude, I'm a super soldier in the year 2053. I hope this pot don't fall out the sky now. So, you like ODSTs, do ya?
Then here, have a whole carton of cigarettes.
Heyo, how's it going, people? My name is Arkun, and you know what? I think ODSTs are just pretty damn good. I think they're pretty neat. And today, we're going to be breaking down this piece of artwork I made if there were ODSTs in Infinite. So grab your helmets, hold on to your asses, and let's just break this shit down. So obviously, the first thing we start off with is a blank canvas, right? Nothing special, just a completely blank canvas. And the first person we throw in is actually Bob on the right, and this is our first ODST. And this guy's the main character of the whole thing. And then behind him, we throw in his friend Dick Kickham.
Yeah, boy.
And he's the secondary guy in this poster. We also really quickly need a background as well. Amazing background. Just looks good, looks good. But the background doesn't fucking stretch high enough. Jesus Christ. It's alright, people. It's alright though. Crisis averted. We used the clone stamp tool. We used the clone stamp tool, and we basically just paint over that. Come on, we just fix it up over there. Next up, we're throwing on a bunch of hue and sans just to turn down the saturation a bit, you know, because the actual goal of this was actually to make it nighttime. And we are now going to do that by throwing on a bunch of color layers just to tint it a lot more blue. Also, the grass looks way too fucking dark, so let's just line that shit up a little bit. Okay. What we also do now is we just start working on the sky as well. So I added the starry sky, then I added a cloudy sky, then I added a much lighter cloudy sky. Oh yeah, you all remember that halo ring from that poster I made like last week or something? Well, that's also making a return. You know why? No clue. Just, I wanted to put it in the background because it looks Halo, okay? So we put that big motherfucker down, then we make it blue, and then we use a layer mask to basically fade it out to the point where you can't even fucking tell it's in the back. Why did I do that? What a fucking waste of time. Another question you may be asking is, how did these people even get here? What? Were they on that big ass ship that got blown to shit in the intro? So I actually added this really small lifeboat in the background. It doesn't add much, but I just thought it would be a cool detail to throw in there. And then we darken it, you know, lifeboat 6 going dark. We also tint it blue. I then used the clone stamp tool to basically just stamp out this dead motherfucker here. Rip bozo, take the L, you're lost. We then quickly give it some highlights, and we also give it a really quick shadow as well. No. I also added some fog because one of these two assholes farted. No, I'm just kidding, no. I basically added some fog just to kind of add some more depth to the image to make the lifeboat look like it's a lot fucking further away. So at this point, we basically move to Bob on the right, and we basically start just by basically making him a little bit more blue, and then we basically just darken the shit out of him, and we also tint him blue as well. Yeah, and you're like, whoa, he's dark. He's not that dark yet. So we basically darken him again, and I also threw a few layers on just to bring back some of the brightness. And from here, I actually wanted to start adding like a bunch of different shit to the ODSTs to make it look like they were stranded. And actually, the first thing I added is this little like chest pouch, and then I basically threw on a few layers just to kind of make that match with the guy's chest. Also, in being badass for dummies, it actually says if you have bullets duct taped to your damn arm, you're more badass. It's true. So I literally found some bullets, I duct taped this guy's arm, and then I threw on a few layers just to make the match. I also found this really cool like Halo Infinite UI design. I thought let's just throw that onto his arm. You know, he needs to know where those gorillas are. You know, boop, boop, boop. You know, he needs to be able to Skype. You know, Extra or something. The fucking money. Basically, just a bunch of solid colors just to brighten that up. And literally, the coolest thing for me on the whole damn thing was this like random elite skill I found. And you know how we got it? He found the elite. He had a stapler. He shoved the stapler in the elite's ass. He got the skull. That's the story we're sticking with, okay? I had all of about 5 minutes to come up with that, alright? And so I basically just threw on a few layers just to darken the skull a shitload. And I also threw a layer underneath it to add a shadow. One of my other favorite parts of this was basically if you play Halo on Legendary, and if you do, you're fucking nuts. Those jackal snipers are assholes. Bruh. But if you play Halo on Legendary, you get this symbol, and I thought it would kind of fit with the skull to make it look like this guy was just going around killing the shit out of some elites. I basically then darkened him because there wasn't a lot of light hitting him, but I quickly also added some bruised white highlights. Alright, so now we're moving on to Dick Kickham. So for the guy on the left, I basically started just by tinting him a little bit blue. And I don't know why I did this early, but I basically copied, fuck, what's his name? Jim Bob. I copied Jim Bob's visor to Dick Kickham, and I basically tinted it a little bit blue. I also darkened him and made him a lot more blue as well. I was just like, fuck it, let's just darken him a lot more. And then we quickly add the white highlights to the guy. And there wasn't a lot going on in the poster. I was like, there's nothing happening. They're just standing around looking at, I don't know what they're looking at. But Jesus Christ, to spice it up just a little bit, I basically threw some fire in as well. I also quickly added just a little bit of fire just near the life pod, and so I quickly tinted the fire to be the same color before I threw a solid color just to brighten them up. And the bit I actually loved doing the most was actually adding the highlights to these guys for the fire. So basically for Jim Bob, we basically add a highlight layer for the right, highlight layer for the left, and then one for the elite with a stapler crammed up his ass. I also quickly added an orange haze behind him, and I also added Dick Kickham's highlights as well. To make their visor stand out, I made them a lot more blue, and I basically moved on to having this like weird idea I had about adding more to the image. So these little squares, right, they're shoulder straps, they're not lights, but I wanted to make them lights just so I could add more to the image. So I basically painted over these little squares, and then I basically added a really big orange glow to them. To make the light look a little bit more bouncy, I basically added these brief highlights to the gun. And then it was basically just the process of doing the same for Dick Kickham's lights. This little lifeboat fire was just so lonely, just depressing in the background. I basically brightened it up, and I also added some highlights for the lifeboat for the fire. I also quickly added some particles to the fire on the right. I then quickly made the fire a little bit brighter and the highlights a little bit brighter as well. And then for the fire on the left, I basically did the same thing, just threw some particles on it. I also quickly added Dick Kickham's haze as well for the fire. And because it is nighttime and I didn't want these guys to like stumble around and eat shit,
Fuck! Oh!
I basically turned on their little flashlight. I then added a lens flare. Sample. Now, but I basically also didn't want the gun to fall over, so I basically added a flashlight for the gun as well. In the background, you can see a crashing pelican. I actually added this in from another project. But this is what happens when you get 10 monkeys in one pelican. It doesn't end well. I then made these orange lights just a little bit brighter before we basically jumped back to the background, and I basically added some highlights for the fire on the grass. I also quickly added another lens flare, basically just to make it look like the light from the fire was bouncing off of the gun. I also added my logo to this guy's helmet for no reason whatsoever. I just thought it'd be a funny thing to do. And to finally finish off the image, I basically threw on a bunch of sparklades to make the fire look, I don't know, fiery, I guess. And then we throw on a blur just to get everything into perspective. And then the final thing we do, we put on a camera raw filter to finish this off. And hold on, what? Quick curves layer, because I actually wanted to throw a curves layer on it, because long story short, I was basically working on a darker monitor. I shot it on the light monitor, it didn't look the same, so quick curves layer at the end. But yeah, here we are, Halo ODST DLC concept art, whatever, I don't know. Seriously, this was just like a random idea I had about making some ODST artwork. Yeah, see you guys later, and goodbye.